Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good evening to all of you. Let's wait please so that we could send the link to the group. Okay, just a second. Okay, let's start. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, please see, good night, you cannot say good night until you go to bed. Okay, so like even if you are studying at 12 o'clock at night, even 2 o'clock, that will be good evening. That cannot be good night. Good night means you are just going to sleep, and then only you can use good night. Got it? Brother Musa? Yes. So you cannot use, even at the night, you cannot use good night. You have to say good evening until you go to bed. Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So where are we? Okay, yeah, we are here. Now you try do a picture walk. I used to go through my textbook page by page. I was trying to make sure I understand. Just hold a second. Just a second. Okay. What's happening? Right. And yes, where is that? Okay, let's start. So where were we? I was trying to make sure I understand all the ideas before I turn the page. Sound sensible, right? Don't do this. It was a big mistake. Instead, when you start a new chapter, go on a picture walk through it. Scan it. Look briefly at all the pictures. Captions and diagrams, but also at the section headings, bold words, and summary, and even questions at the end of the chapter if the book has them. So see, can you see that? Like before reading the book, but it is not applicable to all the books because every book doesn't have a picture, doesn't have diagram, right? So it's important to do a picture walk through the book to see the pictures and the section headings before you begin reading. Okay? This might seem crazy, you haven't read the chapter properly yet, but you are giving your brain an idea of what is coming. It's little like watching a preview of a movie or checking a map before you set off on a journey. Set off means you go on a journey. You will be surprised at how spending a minute or two glancing ahead before you read in depth will allow you to organize your thoughts. This works even if you read on an electronic device. Just bookmark the beginnings of the chapter so you can easily return to it. It's a little like a closet. The picture walk gives you hangers where you can organize the information you are reading. Without hangers, the clothes just fall on the floor in a jumble. Okay? Like suddenly it will fall. Important. Get out a notebook or a piece of paper as you read the next chapter. Take notes, answer questions, and make doodles with key insights. This will help you avoid mindless reading and help glue the new ideas into your brain. Of course, before you begin to read the chapter, be sure to do a picture walk and try to answer some of the end of chapter questions so you have a sense of what you are aiming at in your learning. So I would request you, please keep notebook in front of you so that you could write the ideas, new ideas you get from here. If you make a habit of this for each chapter, you will find the book's ideas will be much more powerful in helping you, right? Okay, so we are heading to chapter 2. Easy does it. Why trying too hard can sometimes be part of the problem. Has your teacher or your mom or dad ever told you to pay attention or to focus? You have probably told yourself to do it. That's because it's easy to become distracted. Sometimes whatever is going on outside the window seems more interesting than what is right in front of you. Yeah, it happens. You can't help but think ahead to things like friends or lunch. Getting distracted is always bad, right? Maybe not. Let's see. Take a look at the chess game in the following picture. Look at the boy on the left. He's playing against the guy on the right. You can see here. Here. See in the picture. Okay? So, he is playing against the guy on the right. The boy is rude, isn't he? Typical 13-year-old. No concentration. Ever heard adults say things like that? They usually blame it on smartphones. Okay? So see here. 13 years old. This one is 13 years old. Magnus Carlsen and legendary chess genius Garry Kasparov playing speed chess at the Reykjavik Rapid in 2004. Kasparov was surprised that Magnus wandered off, looking at other games. Garry Kasparov is one of the greatest chess players of all time. Magnus is not concentrating, so he must have no chance of winning, right? Amazingly, Kasparov didn't win the chess match. This match he couldn't win. It was a tie. The world's best chess player couldn't defeat what appeared to be a hopelessly distracted 13 years old. Are you getting it? Surprise. Sometimes we need to lose concentration so we can think more clearly. Zoning out occasionally, not all the time, can be useful when you are learning or problem solving. Okay? Soon after this photo was taken, Magnus returned to the table and focused on the game again. He had taken a little break so he could focus better when he returned. The message of this chapter is that sometimes you need to be less focused in order to become a better learner. How can that be? So you should write in your notebook this one. The message of the chapter is that sometimes you need to be less focused in order to become a better learner. Okay? Please write it down in your notebooks. How can that be? we have got two ways of thinking. See, here. In the last chapter, I mentioned the word neuroscience, the science of the brain. Neuroscientists use new brain scanning technology to look inside the brain and understand it better. So see here, on the left, brain scanning workers are looking through the scanner, okay? Looking through the scanner. People lie on a special bed that slides into the scanner, that is the scanner, and the scanner is then able to take a picture of the inside of their brain, like the one on the right. Pretty neat. That is very clean, right? This one is very clean. Neuroscientists have discovered that your brain works in two different ways. We will call these two ways of working the focused mode and the diffuse mode. Both modes are important in helping you to learn. Okay, please write down this thing here. Focus mode and diffuse mode. Write down this two. Like first, write down brain works in two different ways. Brain works in two different ways. Number one, focused mode. Number two, diffuse mode. Okay. And now write down both modes are important in helping you to learn. Okay. Focus mode. When you are using your focus mode, it means that you are paying attention. For example, you might be trying to figure out a math problem, or you might be looking at, you might be looking at and listening to your teacher. You focus when you are playing a video game, putting together a puzzle, or learning words from a different language. When you are focusing, you are putting specific parts of the brain to work. Okay? So which parts are working depends on what you are doing. For example, when you are doing multiplication problems, focusing will use different parts of the brain that when you are speaking. When you speak, like when you speak, different part of brain works, and when you solve mathematical problems, different part of the brain works. Okay. When you are trying to learn something new, you must first focus intently on it in order to turn on those parts of the brain and get the learning process started. Okay? When you are in focused mode, you are paying close attention. When you are in focused mode. Okay, now diffuse mode. If that is focused mode, what is diffuse mode? Diffuse mode is when your mind is relaxed and free. You are thinking about nothing in particular, just like, like that. You are in diffuse mode when you are daydreaming, okay? Like, for example, you are just looking in the air, just sitting idle, doing nothing, okay? So, if you are doodling just for fun, if your teacher tells you to concentrate, you have probably slipped into diffuse mode. Okay, so in diffuse mode, you are not thinking about anything in particular. When you are in diffuse mode, you are gently using other parts of the brain that are mostly different from the parts you use when you are focusing. Okay, so there are two different parts. There are many different parts, but different parts work when you are in diffuse mode. Different parts of the brain work when you are in focus mode. The diffuse mode helps you make imaginative connections between ideas. Creativity often seems to pop out of using the diffuse mode. Like she wants to say that, sometimes the creative ideas comes in our mind when we are not focusing, rather when we are just sitting idle. So the creative ideas come, like that is in diffuse mode. Okay, it turns out that your brain has to go back and forth between focused and diffuse modes in order to learn effectively. Okay, right. me see till where we can go. Yeah, till here we will read that inshallah. Let's play a pinball. See, to better understand focused and diffuse mood, let's turn to a game called pinball. It's easy to play. You just pull back on a plunger. Once you let the plunger go, it hits a ball up onto a table. You score points as the ball bounces around and the rubber bumpers. Meanwhile, flashing lights and wacky sounds go off. Use the flippers on the lower portions of the table to keep the ball up and bouncing as long as possible. Pinball tables are kind of like your brain, you know. Their bumpers can be closer or farther apart depending on the table. When the bumpers are close together, it's like your brain in focused mood. The ball bounces around rapidly in one small area before running out of energy and falling down. Imagine that your mental ball leaves a trail when it travels. That's like your focused mood. You make trails in your brain when you are focused. These trails are led when you first learn something and begin to practice using it. For example, see, let's say you already know multiplication. Okay, multiplication means hisab. If I asked zarab, if I asked you to work a multiplication problem, your thought would move along the same multiplication trails that had already been laid in your brain. To see what I mean, take a look at this picture. See here. Yeah, see it carefully. So see, when you are in focused mood, so you are making the puzzle, you are solving the puzzle like that. But when you are in diffuse mood, it go outside as well. It go outside as well in think, in different way. For example, see, on the left here, on the left is the pinball version of the brain in focused mood. See how close together the rubber bumpers are. See here, the rubber bumpers. Okay, the ball moves in a tight pattern. Ball is moving in a tight pattern. Your thoughts can't go very far. The ball is following a fuzzy pattern that has already been laid because you have had the thought before. Okay. On the right is a pinball version of the brain in diffuse mood. Notice how widely your thoughts can range in your brain. See, like, when you were in focused mood, you thought, no, just I have to, draw the line between those dots. But see, when you are in diffuse mood, see, you are just, like without any, constraint, without any boundary, without any limit. You are just, you're just connecting dots together. So the diffuse mood is different. In this mood, the table's bumpers are much farther apart. The thought ball travel much more broadly around the table, hitting fewer bumpers. So our brains act like both kinds of pinball machine. If you want to shift from thinking about the details to thinking freely about the bigger picture, we have to shift from focus to diffuse mood. You need two tables, but importantly, your brain can only be in only one mood at a time. The zombies can't play with two machines at once. Here is a fun way to get a sense of the difference between the two moods. The focus mood, eyes on the prize. Okay, the diffuse mood, eyes on the flies. Okay, see here, see. So when you are in focused mood, so you are just focusing on the prize, like, I have to work hard, I have to win this prize, I have to win this award. But when you are in diffuse mood, so you're like some flies are roaming around you and you are just looking at them. Where are they going, like that. So this is diffuse mode and that is focused mode. Okay, so I think that's enough for today. Inshallah, we will read tomorrow from here, from page number 38. Okay, Jazakumullah khairah. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.